Hey, what's going on, friends? It's been a while since I've checked in here on the site for my YouTube, Google channel, and maybe on my State of Euphorbia blog. But I felt compelled to share some more thoughts that I have. A lot of this stuff probably comes across as a little bit redundant. But for those of you who may be just tuning in, the lighting isn't the greatest in here. I've got some lights all around me, but I didn't set it up studio style, so um, I'm just going to kind of go over a few things. I've gotten some messages from people reaching out, asking about some things that have been of interest to them and kind of the struggles of going through. I've been thinking about not trying to call a terminal illness that, because terminal is a very dark way of putting it, and we're trying to look for points of light and optimism. At least I am coping with having a tough way about things. So um, I came up with some ideas of basic points that I've covered before in dealing with the ups and downs of everyday life, especially if you're dealing with any levels of mental illness, or not necessarily even mental illness, just mental despair. Here in the northern hemisphere, it's winter time, or it's getting to be. It feels like it is right now. In the Pacific Northwest, it's already feeling in the 30s with the wind chill. And I know back east, the East Coast, the United States, it's been rather cold at night. So learning to enjoy bundling up, getting inside, and but also balancing that with being out and about and happy with things, and making the most of your day. I know people, a lot of people that I've encountered, friends and who not, uh, complain about the weather or talk about it in either frustrative or, uh, I don't know, matter of fact, something to talk about terms. I'm drinking water, kefir, or whatever it's called, kefir. Trying to lay off caffeine because being an epileptic, being one who has epilepsy, I don't really want to have to deal with stimulants. Nothing better than water. Water. Living foods. So I'm really glad that I heard from a now friend, Igor from Gresham, Oregon. Igor writes to me about his condition with a brain tumor, and I'm grateful for you, Igor. Thank you for reaching out. It really means a lot. Igor, I hope you don't mind me using your name, mentions that he had a few similarities in his dealings with an oligodendroglioma stage 2, which is what I have in my left frontal and mostly parietal lobe of my brain, which has all kinds of repercussions, effects, side effects, whatever. Trigger his have been triggering grand mal seizures, which mine in the past have, but I'm taking medications, in fact, more than I would care um, to get through this condition. Epilepsy is nothing to mess with. I mean, any kind of brain ailment is it can be quite frightening. And Igor opened up myself to feeling inspired by people such as himself who are going through similar issues. But it really doesn't matter if you're dealing with brain cancer, brain tumor, any kind of terminal or painful, difficult life issues. There's four main approaches, four things that I always stress. I'm not stressed in the sense that you definitely don't want stress, but things that I try to emphasize. And in this process of talking with Igor, the discussion that we've both come over and realize is turmeric. Really stress the importance. We really emphasize the importance of a healthy diet, and turmeric and ginger, and a ketogenically minded diet, not a ketogenic diet. You'll notice if any of you who have tried a ketogenic diet, and hopefully if you have, it's been under the supervision of a physician who knows what they're doing, not just trying it out yourself, because firsthand I can tell you ketoacidosis, which is a terrible consequence of ketogenic diets, is dangerous. It's not worth it. Not worth messing around with your life. So you definitely know what you're doing before you get into it. But a few things that I know that are good and simple along these lines. There's Dr. Whale. He has a website. It's drweil.com. If you look under his diet nutrition section, he has, or even just Google him, Dr. Whale, W-E-I-L. He talks a lot about turmeric tea and its benefits, and I couldn't agree more. Also, green smoothies, green vegetables, not necessarily smoothies, but some people, smoothies is a way of getting those greens into your system. And this includes dark greens like spinach and kale, and even like radicchio, which isn't green, but it kind of looks like cabbage, but it's a really, really healthy food, vegetable. Chard, collards, something like that. Something you could also do is sweeten, though, if you're making it into a smoothie, or eat it with fruits, or like strawberries, grapes, blueberries, which are also very healthy for you. But again, if you're trying to lean more towards a keto emphasized diet, go with less sweet fruits. Cancer loves feeding on starches and sugars, and for some reason, the natural sugars from fruits, from breads, starchy foods, potatoes, a lot of nightshades, lead to inflammation and are quite problematic as far as I've understood them to be. And firsthand, I can tell you that when I have a lot of sugary foods, I don't feel very good. And this all ties in with other things that I've found to be quite detrimental, especially when done in excess. Excess is never a good thing in any means. Obviously, even with a ketogenic diet, excess can lead to severe health problems. So be very careful. Try things out moderately and work yourself until you have reached a point where your body is telling you this isn't right. Use your wise inner self beyond just your impulsive want to get it done today. It's like maybe taking vitamins, eating fruits and vegetables are good for you, but if you take a whole bunch of it right at once and try to cure yourself immediately, you're not going to feel good. You're going to be gassy and bloaty and all these other things. So you got to work your way up to just improving yourself. Doesn't mean you're going to ever get over your condition completely, but it means it's something you can live with, and it's something that you can not just survive, but in many ways thrive with. And being afflicted by any kind of sickness, cancer, brain cancer, tumors, any kind of cancer or tumor, it's something that's a part of you. It's something that is not who you are. It's a part of you. It's not all of you. And once you learn to separate that and realize what it is that you can change, it's simple philosophies. It's quite simple if you really think about it. We try to overcomplicate things in our lives, especially here as Americans. We're in a very high-paced, no slow-down society. Processed food is a big no-no for me. I found a lot of supporting evidence to this. Don't kill yourself over health, which is what I've been emphasizing. But you really do want to live, if you do want to live longer, which, it's our instinct, our intuition to want to live on and to feel better while we're doing this. And there's a lot of things to consider. And I have four main things that are very important in being healthier and reducing seizures, and also in reducing the proliferation of just feeling ill, cancer, sicknesses. And these are my big four. And I think that you probably already know these big four, and they all tie together. But I will stress them one more time, because who knows if you've seen my past videos and this is just the first time that you've seen this. Things in life people spend money on, exercise videos, and how to live your life videos, how to lose weight videos. It takes work to get to a certain plateau of where things become clockwork and become habit, a good habit. Bad habits are easy to form too. So if you're anything like me, you get into a rut, but you can also get yourself into a positive modality of life. And that's where I want to see you, and that's where I want to be. So the four begin with, and these are in no particular order, but without one of these, the other ones don't function as cogent. They don't function as smoothly as they could. Sleep is a big one. Getting a good night's sleep is consistent with waking up and sleeping. So your wake up time and your bedtime being consistent. Not going to bed at midnight one night, crashing early the next night because you're way overtired and you've gotten up too early. Try to set a time for you to always be in a good mode. And if you can't, that's life. Try to rest at some point throughout the day. Try to take breaks when you can, Some people are just workaholics. They just push themselves to the bone, but there's other things you can do other than sleeping and resting, is letting yourself unwind before you lay down to sleep. This is a big, big, big one that most people cannot do, or they refuse to do, because they think in that moment. That's the thing. It's in that moment that, and we'll talk about dopamine, and dopamine releases and how that can hinder, it can help, but it can very much hinder your ability to thrive. Um, Sleep. Let yourself unwind before you lay down. Read, meditate, pray, relax. Whatever it is for you that captures your breath and just allows you to slow things down. Let your heart rest. Avoid TV if you can. Avoid computers, phones, monitors of all types that are putting off electric rays. That getting rid of that, eliminating that right before bed can be huge. Just laying on the floor, connecting yourself close to the earth and just stretching, getting in touch with your body. Might sound hokey, might sound crunchy, but believe me, we all came up out of the earth and we're all going back down in it. It's time to find a reconnection with the big old sphere that we're on. That's number one, sleep. And these all connect. Mindfulness. Mindfulness extends itself into sleep. Trying to ease your anxieties if you have them. Go for a walk. Take deep breaths. 4 seconds in, hold it. 4 seconds. 4 seconds out, hold it. Do that for a while when you're laying in bed at night, or you're just, what do I do? What do I do? I'm wound up. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm having a panic attack, or whatever it is. Even if you're just a little stressed out at work, definitely don't crank yourself up on stimulants and things that you think are going to get you through, or take medicine or pop pills that are going to help you get to these states. But arrive at them as naturally as you can. Natural is what I'm all about. And again, say what you want about me, but I'm a believer in all this. Just let yourself unwind. Tying into mindfulness is in order to reduce factors of, let's say you're on a medication for epilepsy. That's something I can relate to because that's something that is a part of my life. Taking a lot of pills for epilepsy, and that definitely has an effect on my mindfulness and my sleep and the next two of the four that I'm going to get into. And you want to get into a full-on sleep state, and being engaged with the computer, phone, television, being behind the wheel of an automobile, anything like that that's creating like multiple non-conscious sidebars to your life can really be detrimental to not only happiness but just functionality of your life in general. And you have the ability to control your thoughts. Something that we take for granted so much is that we have the ability to control our thoughts. And from that ability to control our thoughts, with that comes the ability to control our intentions. And that's a cyclical state in which we can control our actions or non-actions. And with the control of our actions, or the use of our actions, we can employ those of our habits. And through habits, we develop our personalities, our lifestyles, our ethics. And with all these, we contribute to the greater culture of the people that we are close to, and the people that we're close to create, it's a chain effect that goes on, and it can really affect a large group of people. Just one person can change the world, as Gandhi said. Kumbaya, you know. I'm far from perfect on much of this. In fact, I am amateurish. I say a lot of the things that I have to say in places like this forum because it's there for me to better myself, to make an impact on me. And it's with every intention that I have to make the world that I live in a better place. Regardless of how I feel or how you feel about politics or style or religion or whatever, accepting the world as it is a big, big part of what mindfulness is all about, and letting things kind of roll through you and around you rather than always being in conflict and reactionary to those variables. I'll leave it at that. The third of the big four that I wanted to talk about was exercise. I need to practice what I preach these days. I really, really do. I'm talking about exercise and the importance of it, and yet, on a very basic level, I'm not getting nearly enough exercise. Sitting on my butt is, they say sitting is the new smoking. Well, if you're a smoker, then that's got to go. And that's no judgment. I just want you to live and I want you to thrive. I smoked in my life. I've done a lot of things, but being active, even if you are bound to a chair or a bed or whatnot, you have no limbs, missing limbs, no legs, no arms. If you have a mind and if you have a soul, you can exercise those. And if you have more to you, limbs, legs, organs, fingers, toes, you can exercise that, and you can exercise while moving through the world. You know, I have been in a funk, and even just of late, in a pretty bad funk, I should say. Good meaning a pretty tremendous funk. Funk meaning feeling depressed, feeling down and out, and not much good to anyone, especially myself. But I know within, because there's always a wiseness within all of us. There's wisdom, I should say, not wiseness, wisdom. There's wisdom within myself, and I believe you and everyone else, that we know what's right and wrong for us. And a lot of us, all of us from time to time, ignore what we need to do in favor of a quick fix. And that goes back to dopamine. We get a quick fix from going to the fridge and grabbing a bite to eat. We're not hungry. It's just something that we do out of anxiety. Or what else do? We maybe do drugs. Maybe we drink. We eat. Maybe we have sex. Maybe we masturbate. Maybe we just surf around on the internet. Maybe we're a TV junkie. Whatever it is, we are not exercising our brains and our bodies to the fullest potential that we can so often. And if we are cognizant of this, which means if we are aware of this and get off our tushies, maybe it's cold outside, I'll go somewhere warmer, or just find a place indoors where you can do something, or walk out in the snow. Find an activity that you find fun out there, or make a day of being outside in the snow. Get some warm clothes and go out into it. I believe, from all the evidence presented in science, that walking 10,000 steps a day, which usually figures out for most people, depending on your height and your stride, to be about 4 to 5 miles a day. If you can do that, it's not very far. It seems far, maybe 5 miles. Oh my goodness. Not really. You can walk a mile in about 15 minutes. The average person can walk a mile in 15 minutes. So, what's 15 times 5? Not a lot. 1.5 hours a day of walking around. That's nothing. That's like less than a 20th of a whole day. Or something like that. My math isn't hitting me very well right now. Don't stress. Be active. Get outside. Breathe fresh air. Feel the natural light. That's so important. The sun is there where everything on earth is reactive and responsive in relationship to the sun. I believe even creatures that are in the deepest trenches of the Mariana Trench, which is the deepest point in the ocean, of the deepest ocean, the earth is an organism where everything on it is tied to our sun. Our sun controls our planet controls us. We rely on this planet that we live on. We can't live without it. We're going to launch ourselves into outer space? No. We need to get out and get some sun. The sun is just a wonderful thing. Natural light, exercise, get that sun in your face. Don't overdo all these things. Just like I said, don't oversleep. You can even be over mindful maybe. I don't know if that's possible, but you can lose sight of the things that you need to do to sustain your own life. So moderate. Don't overdo the exercise. Just make an effort to exercise. It works. The stronger you become and the more you stick to it, and if you just believe when you awaken each day and are thankful, get up, get out, and you'll be happy you did it every time, I promise you. You know when you're depressed, if you've ever been really depressed and you're sitting in bed in the morning and you're like, you know you're awake, but you're tired because you don't want to get up. You don't want to get out into a cold day, or you don't want to get out because you know it's hot outside, or whatever it is. But you know if you push yourself a little bit to get up, get yourself some food or do something, something's going to happen in that day. And it's going to be better than just sleeping your whole life away. Last thing I'll say that again ties into this all is food. We are what we eat. You've heard that a million times, I'm sure. It's literally true. What you consume creates the body of cells that construct your body. And what we feed on, if shit goes in, like unhealthy food, you're eating McDonald's or you're eating, some kind of disgusting nachos, I don't want to say nachos, Doritos or something like that, then greasy fries, sure, that's all right in moderation. But if that's what you're eating most of the time, living on snacks and processed food and pre-made crap, then that's going to become another bad habit in your life. And you're going to turn into a creature, a collection of organisms that's constructed of garbage. So start eating healthfully. Start trying to get non-GMO organic foods. And if you can't, just do your best. Do your best. Say, is this good for me? Is this tea good for me? Is this beer I'm about to drink good for me? Say, maybe it's not. But you know what? One beer? Why not? Have one beer. If that's what feels good to you. If it's worth it, do it. But if it's like beer after beer after beer or whatever, you have to be your own best decision maker. Addictions are hard to break. So why not develop healthy addictions like I said earlier? They are patterns. I read I read a lot about health, and I think it was a University of London study that said if you repeat any behavior for 66 consecutive days, that behavior will stick, and you'll begin to crave that behavior over other behaviors. So if it's a healthy choice, like getting up early, eating healthier foods, then you're going to become addicted to doing the right thing. And I don't like the word addiction, but you're going to be in a pattern of health and healthfulness. By the way, if you wonder what I'm drinking Good Wolf water kefir, or whatever. It's a probiotic live food similar to kombucha, made from kefir crystals that are fermented with water and sugar, figs, and pink rock salt. It results in a ready-to-drink beverage that is rich in probiotics, enzymes, and electrolytes. And this one's made with turmeric, pineapple, and ginger. It's a nice little end of the day treat. So instead of going out and getting a soda, something high in sugar, something that's has a lot of preservatives, fermented with loving cultures. Well, basically that's all I've got for right now, and I want to apologize if this seems a bit preachy. It's not my intention at all, but reading it over later after I kind of developed some notes for all this, it made me realize that I need to get back on track for myself. Been a little depression, like I stated, since traveling. I was in Italy not long ago, connecting in person, but reconnecting with family that I really wanted to be close to more in the flesh. And, it was such a wonderful experience. Things like that that make life worth it, the little connections, the big connections. And just remember, like, surround yourself with people who lift you up and don't drag you down. Some people, it seems like to be depressed, but that's not true. Nobody wants to be down in the dumps. Once you establish a pattern of happiness, growth, positive actions, there you go. You'll be doing it more. I think I cannot stress how important it is to live in the present moment as much as possible, because looking backwards, it can often create a mindset of regret, nostalgia that is painful, like, oh, I lost this person, this was a good time, but it's over. I try not to be too focused on looking at old pictures, and I mean, pictures are nice, but I want to be here and now, in this moment, right now. It's a beautiful time to be alive. Despite all the crap on TV, I try not to watch that, the news. It's depressing. There's so much good to see and to absorb in this world. Not to not be woke or aware of what's going on, but focus on the good that you can deal with and that you can absorb into your energy field. I know that's crunchy, but crunchy is good, man. A lot of things that are good are shunned because of fear and anxiety, and I don't want that. Everyone has their own trauma. The future is creating anxiety. Like I said, the past can create sorrow and regret. The present's where it's at. You know this. You're a wise person. Or every human being's wise. You survived to this point. Find professional counsel that can help you. I can't stress that enough. We've all been through trauma in our lives. Being born is a form of trauma. Being ripped away from your Uh, mother's breast is trauma. Having to go through surgeries or chemotherapy or breaking bones and losing out in certain situations are all forms of trauma. Breaking up with somebody you really loved and feeling lost in yourself is those are traumas. Some are greater than others, but you can't compare one person's to another. We all have been through our own battles and we all have scars. This is key. I found a great therapist. I'm very fortunate. It took me a long time. I went to a lot of therapists that I really felt like I did not connect with, but now I'm in a good position and I'm very happy for it. I can't stress how happy I am. And I understand that all things end in time. Nothing is permanent. But you can't think about worrying about that right now. You just have to absorb what is and go from there. A lot of therapists are not good fits. A lot of friends might not be good fits, but a lot might be. Be thankful for the friends that you have that are good to you, that want to see you succeed. This is what you need. This is about your life, and you can enjoy it. You really can. Accept the lulls, accept the downs, learn from your stumblings. You, my friend, are the hero in your own story. Don't compare yourself to other people. That is a fundamental error in life that so many of us do, if not almost all of us. Don't compare yourself to other people. The television tells stories of success and traumas. They're so incomprehensible that when you watch this, you're going to feel awful. Your life is here within you. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I know it might sound corny, but I truly mean this from the bottom of my heart. You are a champion of your own life story, and you have so much potential. If you can think it, you can do it. If you really, really want something, you'll do it. Advocate for others. That's a huge uh, catalyst for your own success, is advocating for others, standing up for other people, telling the truth, never ceasing to learn. And again, be your own primary care provider. Doctors are in place to do their job, to give advice. Some doctors truly, truly care, but most are overstressed. Nurses and other people are a great resource for finding out what you need to find out in your life. But learn the truths from your own experiences and follow your heart. Don't just do things because a doctor tells you to. Sure, sometimes you might, and that's fine. But weigh the evidence and don't be afraid to fail. Of course, if failing means dying, then yeah, fear is a natural reaction. Don't worry about that. I've fallen down super hard and been super frustrated by so many things so many times. In fact, just this week I've been very down. I know it, but I know my inner wise self. They'll rise again. It will. I must stick to that belief, because if I lose this belief, what's life? Don't do things in life that aren't serving you. Eating bad foods on the go, smoking, cigarettes, that's not things that are serving you. They're negative addictions. The meds I am on right now make things very difficult in my life in so many ways. The shifts in thought, confusion, sickness in my stomach. But I have to remember that this harshness, though it is spot on, it's something that using meditation, getting into a pattern of sleep that serves me, trying very hard to employ levels of mindfulness, not being too hard on myself, and eating good foods. All these four things will tie themselves together in a cyclical manner, and keeping good people in your life. I don't know. If you have any specific questions for me, if you even watch this, you can reach me here. There's a if there's anything I can do to help you, just let me know. I hope I can. I need help from others too. I feel lost so many times. So many times I don't know where I'm going or what I'm doing. That's part of being human. And like again, a lot of the things that I say here are just so that I will follow my own advice. It's easy to give advice, it's hard to take it. But I just want the best for myself. And if I can do things that make me happy and be genuinely truthful, then other people can be healthy and thrive around me. And that's what life is all about, I think. All right. Be good. And I hope to talk to you soon. Thank you for your time. Peace.